Today, we're talking about former President Trump being ordered to pay over $350 million, Russia's most vocal Putin critic dying, a new dating app, and other top news for Monday, February 19th. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with the pour over today. Here's the verse of the week. Therefore, having put away falsehood, let each one of you speak the truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. Ephesians 4:25. Let's get started with some espresso shots. Former President Trump is dealing with big numbers. On Friday, Trump and executives of the Trump Organization were ordered to pay $364 million for fraudulent business practices in New York. The judge also barred Trump from running a business in the state for 3 years and ordered an independent monitor to oversee the Trump Organization's financial activity, but stopped short of forcing the business to dissolve. Prosecutors declared that justice has been served, while Trump called the decision a sham and vowed to appeal. In better news for number 45, Trump Media, think Truth Social, was cleared to merge with a special purpose acquisition company. His stake in the post-merger company would be worth nearly $4 billion at today's share price. But that can change considerably before he's allowed to sell, at least 6 months after the merger is final, per the agreement. Culturally hot topics like former President Trump's legal battles frequently make people think, speak, and act poorly, including us. We can respect others and represent God better if we are quick to listen and slow to speak. James 1:19 and 20 says, "Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger, for human anger does not accomplish God's righteousness." Alexei Navalny, the most prominent critic of Russia's President Putin, is dead. The opposition leader died Friday in the Arctic Circle prison where he was serving a 3-decade sentence. Officials said the 47-year-old fell unconscious and died after a walk. The team believes he was murdered on Putin's orders. The U.S. said the death is proof of Putin's brutality, and G7 countries are demanding urgent clarification of the suspicious circumstances. The political movement Navalny led is outlawed in Russia, and hundreds of people were detained over the weekend while paying tribute to him. On the front lines, Ukraine announced that it withdrew from Avdiivka, a Ukrainian town in Russian-controlled territory. Vastly outnumbered, Ukrainian forces withdrew to defend more favorable lines as Russia inundated the city with both airstrikes and ground assaults. Avdiivka marks Moscow's biggest gain since it captured Bakhmut last May. Look to God and give Him the credit for your hope, strength, and love during times dominated by uncertainty and fear. Even in the midst of chaos, our eternity is secure. Psalms 20:7 and 8 says, "Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we trust in the name of the Lord our God. They collapse and fall, but we rise and stand upright."
What would you do if you were falsely accused of murder? For Hannah Overton, that question isn't hypothetical. Hannah was a regular mom of 4 in Texas when, out of the blue, she was falsely accused of murder. Hannah was shocked by the lies, and as a firm believer, she knew that God would come to her rescue and never let those rumors spread. But the exact opposite happened. Hannah eventually stood before a jury of her peers and heard them sentence her to life in prison. This was a terrible mistake. How could God have let her down? But Hannah would soon discover that God had a plan all of his own. Listen to Hannah's entire story on episode number 16 on the Compelled podcast, titled "Falsely Accused of Murder and Sentenced to Life in Prison." Listen on your podcast app or at compelledpodcast.com.
In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. The Justice Department has charged former FBI informant Alexander Smirnov with fabricating claims that Hunter Biden and his then VP father each accepted $5 million in bribes from Ukraine. The arrest is a setback for Republicans who cited Smirnov's testimony in the push to impeach President Biden. Smirnov faces a maximum penalty of 25 years in prison. The FDA has approved a groundbreaking treatment for melanoma, the deadliest form of skin cancer. Emtagvi works by boosting the number of immune cells inside a tumor and has helped about a third of patients who had run out of treatment options. Experts hope it can help treat other solid tumors, which account for 90% of all cancers. President Biden visited East Palestine, Ohio on Friday, 1 year after the Norfolk Southern Trail derailment. Biden, who has faced criticism for not coming sooner, met with local officials, praised the town's resilience, and touted an executive order he signed to hold the train operator accountable for any lasting effects of the chemical spill. Tired of dating apps for people who don't pay their bills on time? There's an app for that. Score is a new dating app that only accepts singles with good or excellent credit, a 675 or higher. Let's hope it's love at first swipe because the app will only be available for around 90 days. New York City is suing TikTok, Meta, Snap, and YouTube for being a public nuisance and negligent, saying the companies are fueling the nationwide youth mental health crisis and need to make changes. Mayor Eric Adams says the platforms promote addiction and encourage unsafe behavior. The companies disagree, noting features to keep kids safe and healthy. And that's all we have for today. Thanks so much for listening. If you're listening on the Apple Podcasts app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We appreciate your support and hope you have a great day. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Most social media sells your data, peppers you with ads, and curates divisive content. Not Tuvu. Tuvu is wholesome social media built and moderated with the whole family in mind. Choose social media that uplifts rather than drains. Check out Tuvu, that's Tuvu, at the link in our show notes.